We're being watched. The moment those words left Lucien's lips, every Imperial Knight instinctively reached for their weapon. The forest fell silent. Lucien slowly scanned the trees, his heartbeat steady. This road was never ambushed in my previous life. History has changed again. Without another warning, dozens of arrows burst from the darkness. Shields. Imperial Knights rushed forward as cloaked figures descended from the trees, their blades flashing beneath the fading light. Their shadow crown. One knight shouted. The peaceful escort instantly became a battlefield. Rowan met the first attacker head-on, his sword crashing against twin daggers, while Kale's wind magic scattered a rain of arrows before they could reach the convoy. Behind them, Lyra's spells formed, shimmering barriers around the wounded as she directed civilians toward safety. Lucien moved through the chaos with unnatural precision. Every command he gave arrived moments before danger struck. Left flank. Protect the supply wagons. 3 enemies behind the ridge. The knights stared in disbelief. It was as if the young prince already knew the enemy's every move. These tactics, they're different from before. Someone is changing history. Then, a hidden assassin burst from beneath a shattered wagon, his poison blade aimed straight at Rowan's back. Rowan. Lucien threw him aside. The blade tore across Lucien's shoulder before he cut the assassin down in a single strike. Ignoring the burning pain, he continued fighting as though nothing had happened. Moments later, the shadow crown suddenly retreated, disappearing into the forest without warning. They're falling back? Rowan asked. Lucien lowered his sword. No, they've already achieved their objective. As the battlefield grew quiet, Lyra noticed blood running beneath Lucien's cloak. You're hurt. It's nothing. It isn't. Before he could object, she pulled him away from the others and removed the damaged shoulder armor. The wound was deeper than Lucien had admitted. You kept fighting like this? Lucien gave a faint smile. I've survived worse. Rowan lowered his head. That attack was meant for me. Lucien placed a hand on his shoulder. We're all alive. That's what matters. As Lyra carefully healed the poisoned wound with gentle blue mana, Lucien gazed silently into the dark forest. Last time, Kale died. This time, I changed his fate. Far away, deep within an underground chamber, a wounded Shadow Crown assassin knelt before a hooded figure. My lord, the prince has been wounded. Silence filled the room. Then came a calm voice. Did I order you to harm him? The assassin froze. And my lord, I. Before he could finish, overwhelming mana crushed him where he knelt. The remaining assassins immediately lowered their heads. One finally dared to ask, should we continue pursuing Prince Lucien? The hooded figure turned away. No, he has begun walking the path. Do not touch him again, unless I command it. The battle was over. The Shadow Crown had vanished into the forest, leaving behind only broken wagons and unanswered questions. As the Imperial Knights secured the convoy, a young scholar searched his leather satchel with trembling hands. No, it can't be. Every document remained untouched. Every coin was still there. Only one thing was missing: the ancient bronze key. Weeks earlier, before disappearing, the old Imperial archivist had secretly placed it into his hands. If I fail to return, take this key to the Imperial capital. Place it only in Lord Cashinvoss's hands. Trust no one. The assistant never asked what the key unlocked, believing the Academy escort would be the safest way to travel unnoticed. He had joined the convoy. Now, the key was gone. Several days later, the convoy arrived safely at the Imperial capital. For Lucien and the students, the mission was over. For the archivist's assistant, it had only begun. Inside the palace, he knelt before Lord Cashinvoss. My lord, my master entrusted something to me before he disappeared. Cashin remained silent. It was stolen during the attack. A long silence followed. Finally, Cashin asked, who knew you were carrying it? No one. Cashin's expression hardened. Then someone was watching your master long before he vanished. He turned toward the palace window. So the convoy was never the true target. Without another word, he quietly ordered a secret investigation until he learned what the key truly unlocked. No one else would be informed. Back at the Imperial Academy, winter quietly settled over the grounds. Training resumed. Students laughed once again. Yet every lesson now carried the weight of real experience. As Master Iwan walked between the students, He stopped beside Lucien. Again, before Iwan could continue, Lucien instinctively corrected his footing. A faint smile appeared on the old master's face. Excellent. Lucien lowered his sword. Exactly the same. Master taught me this in my previous life. High above the courtyard, Aldrich watched in silence. A sharp pain struck his head. The imperial throne room, engulfed in flames. A young prince, falling before the throne. A blade through his back. Aldrich reached forward. The vision vanished. He gripped the stone railing. Why does this feel like a memory? Far beyond the empire, within the Shadow Crown's hidden sanctuary, a hooded figure slowly turned an ancient bronze key between his fingers. The old man kept his promise. His ancient golden eyes shifted toward the magical image of Lucien. The key is mine, and the prince has begun changing history. A quiet smile formed beneath the mask. Winter arrived quietly. A blanket of snow covered the Imperial Academy, replacing the sound of clashing steel with laughter. For the first time in weeks, the Academy felt peaceful. The annual Winter Festival had begun. Lanterns illuminated the pathways as students wandered between food stalls and games. Lucien watched in silence. A peaceful winter. In my previous life, we never had one. Before he could finish the thought, a snowball struck his shoulder. Rowan laughed. You think too much. Another snowball flew through the air. It hit Rowan square in the face. Kale calmly lowered his hand. Now we're even. Soon, their entire class was laughing as a snowball fight broke out. Even Lyra quietly joined in. Her snowball landed perfectly on Lucien. He looked at her, then smiled. A genuine smile. One that hadn't existed in either of his lives. As the festival ended, most students returned to their dormitories. Only Lucien, Rowan, Kale, and several boys from their class remained around a small bonfire. Someone placed an empty bottle in the center. Truth or dare? Everyone agreed. The bottle spun. The first boy chose dare. He was forced to sing the Academy anthem while everyone laughed. The bottle spun again. It stopped on Rowan. Dare. Kale smiled. I dare you to sneak into a teacher's office and bring back proof. Several nervous minutes later, Rowan returned holding an old wooden lecture pointer. The boys burst into laughter. The bottle spun once more. It slowly stopped. In front of Lucien, Rowan's grin slowly widened. Truth or dare? The boys immediately began laughing. Come on, Your Highness. A prince should choose truth. Rowan leaned forward with a teasing smile. Unless you're scared. Lucien looked at him calmly. Dare. Rowan clapped his hands together. I was hoping you'd say that. I dare Prince Lucien to visit the girls' dormitory and return with proof. Kale covered his face. You're going to regret this. The academy corridors were silent. Lucien stopped outside Lyra's room. Before he could knock, the door quietly opened. Prince Lucien? I know how this looks. Rowan? Lucien nodded. A quiet laugh escaped her lips. I should have guessed. Then she noticed the bandage beneath his collar. Your shoulder. I'm fine. You always say that. She gently brushed the snow from his shoulder. You protect everyone, but never yourself. Lucien remained silent. After a moment, Lyra reached into her pocket. She unfolded a white handkerchief embroidered with a silver lily. You need proof, don't you? She placed it into his hand. Next time, let someone protect you too. Voices echoed through the hallway. Lyra smiled. Run. Lucien chuckled softly. Thank you. He slipped away just before several girls rounded the corner. The following morning, Instructor Aldrich stood before the class holding an old wooden lecture pointer. Would anyone like to explain this? Rowan slowly lowered his head. Aldrich's gaze shifted toward Lucien. And perhaps, why Prince Lucien was seen near the girls' dormitory. Silence. 100 laps. Rowan sighed. But instructor. 200. Yes, instructor. As the class laughed, Lucien quietly touched the folded handkerchief hidden inside his pocket. Winter slowly gave way to spring. The snow melted, and the Imperial Academy once again echoed with the sound of training. Life had returned to its familiar rhythm. For most students, the Shadow Crown attack had become nothing more than a distant memory. But Lucien couldn't forget. Each passing day brought a growing sense of unease. It wasn't fear. It was memory. As Master Iwan dismissed the morning class, he looked toward his students. I have been summoned to the Imperial capital. I will return in a few days. The students bowed respectfully. Travel safely, Master. Lucien watched in silence. A trip to the capital? That never happened. A chill ran down his spine. History had changed again. That evening, Master Ewan's carriage departed from the academy, hidden among the distant trees. Silent figures watched. One of them quietly disappeared into the forest. Far away, inside the Shadow Crown's hidden sanctuary, a messenger knelt before Zack. The target has departed. Zack slowly closed the book in his hands. Good. Maintain your distance. Do not engage until he reaches Raven Pass. The messenger lowered his head. As you command. Meanwhile, Lucien stood alone beneath the academy's ancient oak tree. He looked toward the road leading to the capital. Why does this feel so familiar? What am I forgetting? Fragments of his previous life flashed through his mind. A burning battlefield. A lonely mountain road. Then, nothing. Lucien clenched his fist. No, there was something else. Before he could remember, the memory slipped away. The following morning, Master Ewan had not returned. By noon, no message had arrived. By evening, the academy's atmosphere had changed. The headmaster stood before the instructors, his expression unusually grim. Master Ewan's carriage never reached the imperial capital. Silence filled the room. For the first time, Lucien's worst fear became reality. History had changed once again. The disappearance of Master Ewan shook the entire academy. Imperial knights searched every road leading to the capital. Messengers rode day and night. Yet, no trace of him was ever found. The academy was placed under strict lockdown. No student was permitted to leave the grounds. Lucien stood alone inside the empty training hall. Master Ewan's wooden staff still rested where he had left it. Lucien gently picked it up. His golden eyes lowered. I changed history, but I still couldn't protect him. A painful silence filled the room. If I hadn't changed the future, would Master Ewan still be here? For the first time since his rebirth, Lucien questioned whether changing fate truly made the world better. Far away, inside the imperial palace, Lord Cassian knelt before Emperor Cedric. Your Majesty, our search has found nothing. Cedric remained silent. After a long pause, he spoke. Continue searching. Leave no road unchecked. Cassian bowed. As you command. Meanwhile, the hidden imperial guards assigned by Prince Aldrich continued watching over the academy. Their orders were simple. Protect both princes, without revealing yourselves. That night, unable to sleep, Lucien spread a map across his desk. His eyes wandered over countless roads. Then, they stopped. Raven Pass. A faint memory surfaced. Not of Master Ewan's journey, but of an old military report he had read during the final years. Of the previous timeline, an abandoned carriage, recovered near Raven Pass. Lucien's eyes widened. So that's it. If Master Ewan is still alive, that's my only lead. He slowly closed the map. I can't just wait. Before dawn, Lucien quietly climbed over the academy wall. He intended to search alone. The moment his feet touched the ground, a familiar voice echoed behind him. You really thought we'd let you go by yourself? Lucien turned. Rowan stood with his arms crossed. A second voice followed. You've never been very good at hiding your plans. Kale stepped from the shadows. Moments later, Lyra approached carrying a small medical bag. I had a feeling you'd do something reckless. Lucien sighed softly. I never asked any of you to come. Rowan smiled. You didn't. We're coming anyway. For the first time since Master Ewan disappeared, a faint smile appeared on Lucien's face. Thank you. High above the academy walls, a hidden imperial guard silently watched the 4 students disappear into the forest. Without hesitation, he vanished into the darkness. Inside the imperial mage tower, the guard knelt before Prince Aldrich. My lord, Prince Lucien has left the academy. Aldrich's expression immediately changed. Where? North, toward Raven Pass. For a brief moment, Aldrich closed his eyes. Then he calmly gave his orders. Inform His Majesty. Notify Crown Prince Adrian. And tell Sir Aidan Ashford to prepare the Imperial Knights. I'll go ahead.